Hello and welcome to Joyful, the podcast that will help you live a more joyful life. I'm your host, Chloe Markham, and it's my mission to help you find more joy every single day. This podcast is a deep dive into ways to reduce your stress, your overwhelm, anxiety, and that voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, whilst also diving into the methods, philosophies, and protocols that help us live more connected, grounded, and ultimately happier lives. This is about living life on purpose. Without any further ado, let's dive into today's episode. So today I want to talk about why you need to meditate more. So like I just said, I love this opportunity for me to talk about my own practice. And meditation is such a big part of that. In fact, I think I'm going to do, I'm going to do one of these about a morning routine at some point. Meditation is such a big part of my morning routine. But I don't want to talk about that today because that's a whole other thing. But meditation itself and why you should be doing it more. Okay, so I want to dive in. So, right, the thing with meditation, and I think the barrier to meditation is that we are emptying our minds. How the hell do you do that? And who on earth is capable of doing that? And also, I don't know, it conjures this idea of like shaved head, saffron robed guy sitting in a cave or at an ashram somewhere for hours on end in silence, in pain probably. It sounds laborious and challenging. I don't have time to do that. I mean, even if you've even researched this or heard of stuff like this, there are meditation retreats that are 10 days of silence or whatever. They can be really intense and exciting if you're into it, like great, but a bit of a barrier to entry, you know. If that's our experience or awareness of meditation, oh my god, no thank you, I do not have time to be in silence for 10 days. What is that going to bring to my life? So what I'm talking about isn't all of that heavy stuff, even like half-hour meditations. Nah, it's never been something I feel okay with. I'm very impatient. So the idea of sitting down for a half hour or even 20 minutes sometimes can be mind-blowing. I can't do that. So then I'm missing out. If that's, you know what I mean? We're missing out. If that's what we think meditation should be, I don't have time for it. So I don't do it. So what I did a couple of years ago, I was in a really challenging place in my life. I don't mind admitting that. As most of you guys know, I was with a guy for a long time, 8 years, me and Darren. And it just got kind of hard at the end, really difficult for both of us, you know. And I was in a place where I needed to do something. I was losing my mind, you know. I needed to do something to self-regulate. I needed to take some time for me. We also had a puppy at the time. That was hard too. And that's when I started my morning routine. Again, a conversation for another time. But what I found when I started to meditate every day on my own in quiet, when it became a regular part of my day, honestly, it was profound. And I've come and gone from meditation, but I'm back into it again for the past month and a half, maybe. Back really into, especially my morning routine. But the meditation aspect of it is profound. And so I just want to talk about that profundity and why it's profound and why you need to do it more and why 5 minutes is okay. 10 minutes is okay, right? And why you're still going to benefit even if you suck. So, meditation isn't about meditating. And I know that sounds really weird. But it's not. So we don't meditate to get better at meditation. In a similar way, yoga's not really about yoga, is it? When we can look at our asana practice, so our vinyasa classes or whatever, we can see them as a way for us to be healthy and fit in the rest of our lives. Yoga is just a tool that we use to be healthy, fit, mentally capable, joyful, whatever it is that you get from your yoga practice. We use our yoga practice to do that. And this is what I've been talking about a lot, right? We don't necessarily, in fact, I want us to shift our mentality in our yoga practice. Instead of, I do yoga to get better at yoga. I mean, it happens over time. I mean, of course, the more that we practice downward dog, the better our downward dog is going to get. The more we practice arm balances, the better our arm balances are going to become. It makes sense. But is that our intention? I don't want that to be our intention. I want our intention to be, I want to feel better, right? Whatever that is over here, I want us to feel better. But it's the exact same in meditation. In fact, it's a little easier to digest in meditation because it's not all over social media, right? Or Nike adverts or whatever. So meditation is a tool that we use to build peace, clarity, focus, acceptance, right? These tools for our everyday. So I was meditating every day. I didn't get any easier. I didn't get better at it. I didn't get, a smoother headspace. I didn't gain the ability to empty my mind. I didn't, and I was practicing for a good 1.5 years here. No, and those things didn't happen. Some days I loved it. Some days it was challenging. And I began to love it more. But my point is that I suddenly saw like a challenging situation. Maybe me and Darren would have an argument, or, our puppy would like drive me insane. Instead of me reacting, and making that situation worse perhaps, or whatever, I handled it differently. I was calmer. And I only noticed afterwards, like, oh my God, I really navigated that differently, And when I started noticing how I was navigating things differently, I started to love my meditation practice even more, because it became the anchor to my sanity. It was a really hard time I was going through, It was really challenging. And meditation absolutely saved me. I can get emotional talking about it. My morning practice, again, I want to talk about that in a separate thing, but waking up earlier than my dog, waking up earlier than Darren, and sitting. So I had a home studio at the time, and I was so blessed with that, overlooking this beautiful garden. But you don't need those things, right? But I was sitting 5:30 in the morning, and I was meditating, and it literally changed my life. I said it. It changed my life. It changed the way that I react. It changes the way that I react to situations. Okay, so I want to talk about why. So meditation isn't meditation. Sorry, meditation isn't just about meditation. Meditation isn't the beginning and the end. Okay, so it's a tool that we use to benefit the rest of our days, but how does it do that? So I want to talk about the muscles that we use, that we build in our meditation practice. So if you've done the 30-day meditation challenge, it's like day 26 or something. I talk about these muscles that we build in meditation. If you haven't done that, by the way, I'm going to drop a link below. This is recording, hopefully, because last week's didn't. But this is recording, so I'll put it below that too, and below the live on Facebook. I really encourage you to do that 30-day challenge. That's how I got started as well. And then it just kind of rolled on. So the muscles that we build in our meditation. So I want to take you on a journey for a second. So, okay, whether it's a guided meditation or not, doesn't matter. You're closing your eyes, you're sitting, your spine is long, you're breathing, especially at the beginning, you're noticing breath, breathing a little bit deeper maybe. Okay, so first of all, we have this focus, a concentration. So I talk about this in my meditations as an anchor point. So for me right now, I'm really into the movement of my belly as I breathe. That's my anchor point. At the moment, it has changed. Sometimes it can be the temperature of the inhale on your nostrils compared to the exhale. Or maybe you can hear a particular subtle noise, your heartbeat. Sometimes if I wear headphones, I can hear my heartbeat. That's quite nice. Or some other part of your breath, or some other part of your experience that's really steady and really constant. right? So we anchor our attention to that thing. Oh, that in itself is wonderful because it takes us away from all the other fluff and mess and bustle. So we're anchoring our attention. So there's our focus. So if we're talking about building muscles, there's our focus, our concentration, right? But inevitably, and this is where I think folks get mixed up about meditation, inevitably I start thinking about stuff, right? Your ex comes to mind, like the most random things, that wedding you went to, that meeting you've got, what you're going to eat for breakfast, or whatever it is, right? These things come, your brain is a machine that is doing this. That's what it does best. It's what it's evolved to do, to think. And so you are going to lose focus. That's okay. Your concentration will slip and you will find yourself wandering down pathways of crazy thought. Fine. So you've lost focus. What's magical about that is you will notice that you've lost focus. Oh my God, I'm thinking about my ex. I'm thinking about breakfast. Oh my God, I'm thinking about that meeting. No. All right, I don't want to do that. Okay, so that's clarity. That, oh my God, it's huge. Noticing. Do you guys understand how big of a deal that is? Becoming aware of what your brain is doing, that's huge, okay? Clarity. So there's the muscle of clarity, of noticing, of awareness, right? Now, the trick with that awareness and the third muscle that we're building here is sometimes known as equanimity or acceptance or this easygoingness, right? That it's all good that I always talk about. It's all good. You're thinking about your ex. It's all good. It doesn't matter. You're thinking about breakfast. It's all good, right? So not only are we noticing, building that awareness, that clarity, but we're also building this easygoingness, this equanimity, this softness, and like kindness. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. No matter what, it's all good. We're not our thoughts, right? And then we bring it back. We're able to, with friendliness and kindness. So there's our fourth, right? Self-kindness, self-love, friendliness, right? Just this soft and warm, fuzzy feeling of taking care of ourselves. Not to be touched on lightly. That's a big deal too. In a world where we're told to hustle and grind and just suck it up and get on with it. This muscle of friendliness is so important. So we're bringing it back and refocusing, refinding our levels of concentration. You see? So focus on that anchor point, whatever that is. You get distracted and you notice the clarity, the awareness. Oh my God, I'm thinking, right? Like Descartes level philosophical, I think therefore I am vibe, right? I'm thinking. Easygoingness, this equanimity, it's all good. And with friendliness and kindness, we refocus. So I am living proof. I was having a hard time. I'll say it again, it was real hard for me. One of the hardest times of my life. And by meditating regularly, I was like, nah, this didn't really do much for me. I'd done like 3 days of meditation in the past. It didn't really change anything for me, right? But after like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, these muscles of clarity and focus and friendliness and easygoingness started to trickle out. This is that stuff I was talking about earlier, right? When like I had an argument or I was in a challenging situation or my dog was like driving me crazy. These are the muscles that allowed me to take a moment, like take more time, notice my reaction, right? Huge, absolutely huge. And I don't think we talk about it enough, society. I mean, there are all those apps, you can download an app and I encourage you to if you want to. meditation apps. But, you know, it's not spoken about as yoga is spoken about, you know, because it's not as cool. It doesn't look as good. But, excuse me, it's really life-changing. So I just want to remind you when you start, because I really hope this session encourages you to start a meditation practice. But when you do, know that you're going to struggle and you're going to fidget. Like, oh my God, I don't want to be here. I've got stuff to do. Right? But know that noticing that and being kind to yourself and accepting and refocusing, that's the point. So even when meditations are hard and crappy and you feel like, oh, this sit today was awful, I didn't focus very well, it's all good. You're still working on all those muscles I talked about. It's like going to the gym, right? I had such a bad workout today. Or yoga practice. I had such a bad yoga practice today. I was tired and grumpy and I didn't want to do it. So I did most of it in child's pose, and that's okay. It's okay. And why is it okay? Because you showed up anyway. And in meditation, because you're working those muscles anyway, regardless of how challenging it is, regardless of how much you flitter off in your head and get distracted and don't even notice you're distracted until you do. See what I'm saying? That's when we start to build. So bad meditations, good meditations, they're all the same. We're building these muscles and that's having an impact on our life. So we don't meditate to meditate, right? We don't meditate to get good at meditation. Being good at meditation is what? It's like this fallacy. It doesn't exist. It's almost like, I'm trying to like relate it to dishwashing or something. I don't know, something really mundane. But we don't wash our dishes for washing our dishes' sake. We wash them because we want clean dishes, right? And it's the same thing. It's like, oh God, I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. Anyway, that's a bit off. My mind's going. But meditation. This is why you need to meditate more. So I encourage you to start that 30-day meditation challenge. If you've done that, when you've done that, this is basically the reason that I created the daily sessions in the dashboard. So when you log in, if you scroll down, you'll see daily sessions, daily meditation, daily yoga, and there's like a couple different yogas. But the meditations are why I created that, because having a new meditation every day, it makes your practice easier. Yeah. So I want you to try and do that 30-day challenge. Feedback to me. Skip a few days. I did. My first 30-day challenge took me about 50 days, I think. But I persevered. If you miss a day, it doesn't mean you know, I don't know, why am I bothering? I might as well just quit. No. Miss a day, it's okay. Miss 2 days, it's okay. Get back. Continue to strive for this meditation thing, because I'm telling you, it's life-changing. Right now, my morning routines are, again, I'm going to use that word profound. They are profound in the way that they impact the way that I work, my mindset, the things that I'm getting done, my productivity, the way I like talk to myself. Yeah. So meditate. I really hope this has inspired you to meditate. So on that note, I want to get to some of your questions. So I have a couple here. Okay. Trish has asked about knees and how to strengthen knees. I really love this question because when I was doing my teacher training, my yoga teacher training, it was 2016 and I was suffering with quite bad knee pain. And I was really freaking out. I always freak out about injuries and pain. But yeah, I came back and I worked on that. And what helped me massively was leg strength. So if you think about your knee, it's a joint hanging out in space, right? There's no muscles on the knee itself. The knee is supported by the quads and the lower leg. You know, it's a structure. It works together. So what I would encourage you guys to do is squats, baby. So yeah, squats, noticing your feet position as you squat. So I was doing this when I had knee pain. Never had it since, by the way. But yeah, I was doing one leg squats, brushing my teeth. You can do that with a wall, it's all good. But with my toes turned out, because that just activates different parts of the thigh to support the knee. So yeah, what I would recommend for knee pain, first of all, go and see someone, please, because, you know, I'm not a medical professional, but strengthen knees by strengthening your legs. Get strong legs, and knees will help. So, but I know that knees are weird, because I know there's a few folks with knee dramas in the group. When we come onto all fours, there's something I would encourage with that is different knee placements. So like maybe stepping your knees further back, because like downward pressure directly on the kneecap can be challenging, or it might be on the very top of the kneecap, like different, you know what I mean? So play with the positioning of your legs. They might need to be further back or further forward if you've got particularly painful knees. So when I teach, I am on a really, really hard floor, and that can be challenging. So bring cushions under your knees, or fold over your mat if you need to. Don't worry about things like that. Just add stuff. If it makes it more comfortable, add stuff. And I know that there's at least one person who is skipping being on the knees and doing things from seated instead. And oh man, massively encourage that. So if that's you, do what you got to do. If you've got any more questions on knee stuff, please shout. But hopefully, Trish, that has helped. So build up strength in your legs, baby. Legs, legs, legs. Also had questions from Elaine. Yeah. So she's asked me 3 questions. The first one is really interesting. How to prevent overstretching the lower back. And I feel like that is a really interesting question, because I'm not sure you mean overstretching. Overstretching as in so I'm assuming that you're feeling lower back pain. And I'd love to know more, actually, Elaine. So hit me up with more details. But I feel like an overstretch is, first of all, yeah, I feel an overstretch is something when we're disconnected from how we're feeling. So for instance, if we take hamstrings, so it's really ubiquitous and easy, you know you're overstretching your hamstrings, right? Because you're like, oh, this is quite far. Back out. So lower back, I would say, if we're, just let's think about it for a second. Stretching the lower back imposes like forward folds, yeah. And I would say, I don't know if you mean overstretching is what I'm saying. I think maybe you've got lower back pain and it's giving you niggles. Boat pose might be hard for you. It might feel weird on your back. So I don't know if I can answer that. Back out. Back out. So forward folds just don't go as deep. But it might be a bigger conversation we have about the lower back. Again, something I sometimes suffer with and have done in the past, definitely. So it can definitely be a conversation. So let me know. Let me know what you mean. Let me know what the details of that stuff are. Second question. This is really funny. How to remember to breathe out as well as in. Sorry, I'm laughing at this question. I don't mean it in a any way at all. I just mean it's just really funny, isn't it? Like, why do we have to think about this? But we do, and I get that, absolutely. Breathing out is one of the most important parts of our breath. Because you know what? No matter what you're doing, no matter how heavy you're breathing, no matter really what mixture of air you're breathing, your blood oxygen levels are always going to be relatively similar. Unless you're particularly unwell or have some sort of contraindication with the lungs, or you're up Everest. So the breath in is really interesting because we talk about oxygenating everything. Everything's already oxygenated in as far as the breath is concerned. Movement can support that flow of oxygen. But yeah, breathing in is, it's really good. I don't want to vilify breathing in, God. Please breathe in. and breathing in slow and deep down to the belly. And can I just talk about this? Oh my God, I could really waffle about this. Breathing is more than just our oxygen levels and carbon dioxide levels, because that's a huge thing, and I'm going to get to that in a sec. But breathing in our yoga practice should be a massive focus point. So we talk about focus in our meditation. The similarities of meditation and our yoga practice are profound. I'm using that word a lot today. They're amazing in that we need to find an anchor point in our yoga practice too. And our anchor point in our yoga practice traditionally is breath. Drishti helps too, so where our gaze is. But breath is our focus point. And our Ujjayi breath, particularly. In through the nose and out through the nose. So, and also, massively calms the nervous system, right? Belly breathing. Yeah, it's not just about levels of oxygen and carbon dioxide, but massively about brain, nervous system, all of it. Stuff I'm learning about too, right? The nervous system. I'm doing a course in April I'm very excited about, and I'm hoping to share some of my findings with you guys. I will definitely be sharing findings with you. Anyway, your question, how to remember to breathe out. And I think the breath out is one of the most beautiful things in our yoga practice, especially when we're doing a slower thing toward the end. So like we're in pigeon or like forward folds or on the back, whatever, or in a yin class, like a restorative class. The breath out through an open mouth can be really emotionally clearing. It's like we're just dusting our proverbial or inner bookshelf, you know, just like getting rid of stuff, but like anatomically or physiologically, it's a really important part of obviously the breath cycle. Do you know what I think it's about? It's a really interesting question to answer, because it's like, well, just breathe out, Elaine. I don't know what to say. Just breathe out. But I know that I'm just breathing right now just to feel it. But I think, yeah, just focus on the belly, drawing the belly toward the spine. And I think especially in vinyasa classes, so when we're moving with breath, move with breath. Again, maybe you've got more to this question and like to know more, but move with breath. We're folding, you know, or we're sinking on an exhale, so prioritize that a little bit more. Feel free to breathe through the mouth as you exhale. Always try and breathe in through the nose. Read breath. Elaine, you haven't you? I think that was our current book club read. I know the current read has gone on for months and months, but I really encourage you guys to read Breath by James Nestor. Brilliant book. Anyway, I know I haven't really answered that question, but let me know if you have follow-ups, because I'm here for all of them. I love this last one too. I love twists. Why do they feel so good? I love twists too. Twists feel good because multiple things. Elaine, don't you do a lot of gardening? I feel like maybe. I mean, it's winter. You probably don't right now, but either way, a lot of us can get quite strong in our backs. Gardeners, people with little kids, picking them up a lot. Or just whatever. Like if you're strong in your lower back or your upper back or your mid back, your back, your lats, your shoulders, twists are gonna feel good because, and I'm really tight because of our class on Saturday. Because you're releasing, you're like moving into all of those tight, stuck places. That's why they feel so good. And the spine is such an integral part of our entire skeletal system. So by allowing that to just move in different ways, so there's 5 different ways of moving the spine. Flexion and extension, so that's forward and back. Rotation. And then we've got side and side and side. So, yeah, twists feel good because of the spine, baby. Because we don't often twist in our day-to-day stuff, do we? They do feel good. But also, so I was talking about oxygenation a second ago. But it's good for our bellies too, you know, because we're slightly like squishing the belly as we twist, you know, and by doing that, it's about increasing oxygenation or increasing blood flow to places. So all this kind of movement, any movement really, increases blood flow to our bellies and our guts, our muscles, our joints, and getting oxygen and getting blood flowing is a really good thing, of course. So yeah, that's one of the reasons twist feels so good. But yeah, I think it's just really because it targets a lot of stuff, covers a lot of real estate, and helps us feel like cat and cow, right? I like that you like twists, Elaine, so do I. So guys, if you have any questions for me for next week, let me know. We can follow up next week on meditation. I don't know what I'm going to talk about next week. Something else entirely. I am going to talk about morning routines. I don't know if I'm going to save it because I'm thinking about adding a new part to the beginners course for any beginners people watching, if I haven't already, because who knows who's watching this in the future. And yeah, adding a morning routine thing to the library too. Anyway, vote now. Let me know. I hope this has been helpful. I feel like I've waffled for, there's 2 minutes. I have waffled today, but hopefully you've got something out of it. And like I mentioned at the beginning, can this be a way for us to be excited about our yoga and our meditation practice? I don't know. Let me know, comment or email me or something. Get in touch and let me know what you think. All right, folks, have a beautiful Monday. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you very soon. Thank you so much for listening, my friend. I hope you're feeling sparkly and inspired to live a more joyful life. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a rating. These things are invaluable to me, and share it with people who need it. This is about inspiring more people to be more connected and lead happier and more joyful lives. Join my inner circle for more inspiration. Learn more at the website theyogarevolution.co.uk and chloemarkham.co.uk. I'll see you in the next episode.